So hello. So I thought I'd come in and record a little chit chat, and every now and then I have Spirit will pop up with a word that they want me to talk about, and usually it's something that's been going on in my life also. So current energies, wow, they take us to the lowest and lows, and then when we get through it, they bring us up again, and then there's something else that will take us back down. And I don't know what you're like within your, how far you are in your spiritual journey, but I think it seems the more you think you've got a handle on anything, the more intense the energies can be when they come into play. So, today I'm going to talk about one of the energies that came into play for me. And I'm going to talk about the word validation. And let's get some cacao down me to help open this heart chakra up as I go into this. Validation, right? Validation. Recently I've been reflecting and going into this because I noticed it's something that was coming up with me. And validation always comes from a place of insecurity and self-worth. We can either look for answers outside ourselves. We can do things and want people to approve of what we're doing. I always found that at school I always needed that extra bit of encouragement to give me the confidence to carry on. And if I didn't get it, I just thought I was a failure. That carried through, a lot more through life as an adult also. But with validation, it relates to a word called faith as well, which I'm going to go into that as well. So, validation. I had a good think about it yesterday, and I thought we can either be overreactive with validation, overactive, or underactive. Well, not underactive, because validation in itself is, it's not a positive aspect. But by overactive validation, I mean you've got the sort of people who say, I don't give a what anyone cares about me. I don't care. I don't give a. It usually sounds a bit like that. That's overactive validation. That's you shutting yourself completely off from emotion and saying you don't care what people think, when in actual fact you really do. But you've closed a part of yourself down to leave yourself sort of blinkered, which isn't healthy at all because it's just repressing. And then you have looking for validation when it comes from a place of insecurity. And this can arise in us, with healing, it's always a spiral. So you think you're done. I love the way I said that, think you're done. And it comes back round again and it hits you. And you're like, wow, that's still there. And then it comes back round. You get over it and then it comes back around and then it hits you again. But I have to say this to you, each time it comes round again, you go deeper and deeper and delve deeper. So keep on the path and you learn a lot more about yourself, and you don't stay in that place for as long as you did the time before. Healing doesn't happen overnight. It's a real slow process, or it can be fast certain parts, but the process is there for you to, it's not about the destination, but the process is there for you to have that self-acceptance of yourself and these emotions we have. The thing is, if you're always trying to look to be perfect, then it means that how are you going to love yourself right now if you don't think you're good enough? So it's all about loving yourself the way loving yourself with who you are now, and you evolve through the emotions or the reactions that don't serve you. And so validation comes from lack of faith within yourself. And then lack of faith within yourself comes from lack of faith. Lack of faith from, you know, when we think of the word faith, we think of religion, we think of God. And in the past, we were pretty much a society that was full of faith, you know, just through religion. We relied on the faith of the unseen, the invisible, the unknown. And as science has become more incorporated in our way of thinking, we've sort of taken a step back, even though in our hearts we sort of know that there is a force out there. We can look around and see that there is something that enables creation. You know, how we can be so reflective to nature. Like just the palm of your hands can be reflective to a leaf, you know. There's these elements, and I think we've lost, as much as people say they think we're in a really bad time in history. I've always said this, I always say this countless times, you know, I would not want to go back to medieval times. As a Caucasian person, wouldn't want to go back into medieval times. As a black woman, I'm not wanting to go further back. Oh, not even that long ago. The 80s wasn't, you know, telly showed the 80s wasn't too considerate and quality, you know. So if you go back in history and you think how far us women have come today, and for even having a sign of intelligence, you were considered a witch and you could have met your death. All these different elements shows that, yeah, we're in a there's a really good time to be alive for us all. It's just mismanaged. Yeah, right? There's just something out of kilter. And so that comes back to faith. We've lost this faith. And that faith, we've lost this faith in spirit. I'll say like God, the Holy Spirit. So we've lost this faith in spirit. And if we are made up of spirit, then we've lost this faith in ourselves. And so I think when it comes to validation, it's that opportunity to really look within and look at why. Why do I need validation from other people? I always like to go back, you know, not all the time, but now and then, and I'll go back and I'll say, right, when was the earliest memory of when I needed validation of someone? Or I lost my faith in myself. And it might have been something that happened through school. It might have been something from home. There are different, probably all of the above. There are different ways, but as an individual, we are unique, right? And everyone has perception. So why would we look for validation outside ourselves? We really, I think, you know, don't really need to do anything, but I think we want to get to know ourselves, so we don't need that validation. We want to come closer to who we are, closer to self-acceptance, closer to faith, faith that resides in us, faith that resides in the invisible, the unseen. So I suppose that's all I wanted to say about validation, but it's pretty joyful when you get past that aspect of looking for approval, because it seems the more you look, the less you get it, right? As long as you're happy with yourself. And the good way to be happy with yourself is to have a sure indicator, and it resides right here and right here in your gut. That indicator lets you know. It lets you know whether you're making the right choices. And before I go, I just want to say a really good way of overcoming validation is by creativity, because creativity, beauty lies in the eye of the beholder, and there is no wrong or right way when it comes to creating. So I will excuse my little bed on the floor there. I did a cacao ceremony for myself. So I've recently started drawing, painting, and had a fear. I'd see people do it and I'd be like, oh, I wish I could draw. Or I'd see beautiful scenes and say, oh, I wish I could do that. And some things, it's just got to come from you. And with art, the best way to do it is to not think about it when you're doing it and just let go. Oh, it's such a beautiful, amazing feeling. So I was able to do this through lockdown. And so this is my new one that I've done. And this is me really letting go. It's like really abstract. And this is titled, Can't See the Wood for the Trees. That's a common theme that can arise within me. But I love how abstract it is, right? It's nothing obvious, but it makes me happy. I'm so proud of myself. And so, whether you're making things, I make shamanic fans as well for myself. So whether you sit down and craft and make things, I use this for smudging and during ceremonies. By releasing this creativity, you don't look for validation. You know, like, look at my smile, right? I'm like, I like what I've done there. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. I like what I've done there. And I should do that with work, and I should do it with everything. Everything. Creation is the key, right? So I'm going to leave it at that because my cacao's getting cold. But thank you very much for listening. And as my little boy likes to say, Mum, remember to tell him to like and subscribe. So can you like and subscribe, please? And you can find me on Mummy Healer at Facebook, or I have a website as well, which is Lexi's Attic, Mummy Healer. So enjoy the rest of your day. Go create something. Have a good think about why you need to feel like people should validate you when they don't even know themselves. You know, right? So, take care. Thank you for listening. Bye.